Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Couldn't unmute myself there.
Well, there you go. You got an audio version of me for about 2 minutes. So happy Monday.
It's weird. It's weird. Everyone on the webinar said they prefer this version of you. I don't know what's coming in on the chat.
I've got a face for radio.
That's that. Hey, that's their opinion, not mine. You know.
All right. Thanks. I'll be reviewing the chat just to verify that statement.
Okay, I'm gonna need everyone to chat that in.
So I hope everybody had a great weekend and ready to.
Yep. Nice chilly, wet Monday here for us to kick things off with.
That's all right. It's a great day to go create some business. When do you think people are going to start checking out?
You know, I would have thought that it would have already happened. But from what I'm seeing, it hasn't, right?
It's not.
So
Nope.
at least not from, my sphere. And, this is a weird indicator, but I go on a run in my neighborhood every morning, and there's a long road, right? Meadow Point is huge, and it's literally probably 5 miles long on the main stretch. And when the pandemic was at its peak, I would run in the morning and there'd be like 5 cars driving, and in a time where normally everyone would be leaving to go get in rush hour traffic. This morning was slammed. I mean, cars just flying by, which tells me that the world is at a normal pace, right? I think we get stuck in this bubble sometimes where we're either making an excuse or we've listened to the media too much and we think that things are slowing down. We think that people are checking out. We think that there's all this fear out there. Reality is, for the most part, things are pretty normal right now. Yes, there's still COVID. Yes, there's still concerns, but the world's operating, and people are still out looking. And I think from at least in my sphere, there's more people even than before looking now, right? They have more time, and it's just the holidays is one of those times, end of the year. I think you're going to have a lot of people in your network that are out really considering, should we make a change for 2021? Right? Do we need a new investment property? What is our tax situation? Do we make too much money this year? Right? I have personal friends of mine. I just referred them to an agent yesterday. They're going to buy a Madeira Bay unit. So why? Because they got to the end of the year and realized, wait a minute, we've got some cash that we need to spend from a tax perspective. Great. Right? So, I think we can't let that be an excuse.
No, because we have something called scarcity, which is a major driving force in every market. But especially right now, we have that in real estate, which is kind of playing into our hands, because typically, if this were a normal year, there are times that people slow down. There is a spring selling season. There is like seasonality. Right now, it's over. It's on. It's scarcity. If you're thinking about buying, you're almost in a competition. It's like the Hunger Games, right? If you want a house, so does everybody else, and you can't let your guard down because you need to go find one. That's what's going on right now. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. And so the seasonality is gone. The typical, well, we're just going to wait for January. That's dumb, because everything. And if you wait while supply is completely on your side and demand is completely on your side, why would you not put it on the market? That's the issue. But our still biggest problem is inventory. It's like we talked about before. If you were going to move, if let's say you guys wanted to take your equity and buy a new house, you finally decided you're going to do it. It's an issue, because where are you going to move to?
It's a big issue. Yeah, it's a major issue. And we've certainly looked at it, right? We're not stupid. Like I continue to look at the homes that have sold in our neighborhood, and the last one that just went on the market literally about 7 doors down from me sold in the first day within hours, right? Multiple offers. And so I'm looking at that, but it's still an issue for us, right? And anyone who's got to stay in a particular area because of schools or whatever else, which is our situation, yes, there's other neighborhoods, there's new homes being built that I could move to, but my kids are going to have to change schools, which is something we're not prepared to do. So we're stuck, right, in this little bubble. And in that bubble, there's nothing even not on the market really that I want. And so, we've looked, but it's a challenge. And so what do you do? Well, but I do want to caveat that doesn't mean that you don't buy anything. Maybe that means that we start looking at, okay, well, if we're not leaving here, does it make sense to use that? Oh, we got two Jeffs. Hold on a second. There's echo. Which one's which? Hold on, guys. Technical difficulties here. Okay, Jeff, you should be a co-host on the right one now. But I can't hear you.
There we go.
There we go. But just because I can't move my primary residence doesn't mean that I may not be looking for an investment property.
Yeah, but,
right.
But
so there's still
call out the drunk monkey there for a second. You could change your primary residence. You're just choosing not to. I mean, you could. You don't want to.
I mean, I could. Anyone could. Right. But why would you do it just to do it?
Because
right, it's got to be an upgrade of some kind or a benefit of some kind.
It should be an upgrade. You should upgrade your home right now. You should either.
But there's nothing to upgrade to that in the space in the place that I need it.
As far as the neighborhood goes,
to stay in the school district, right?
That's not
my
true.
kids go to
an agent that's working in Mike's neighborhood. Call him today and go.
Is Heather on? Heather can confirm this because she lives in my neighborhood. She's not on here.
But guys, here's the point. Okay, Heather lives in your neighborhood. Heather has a tool called Remine. She knows medium to high sell scores. She can go find out who's got a bigger house in a better location and go sit with you and Courtney and say, all right, let's go on Google Earth together and just kind of highlight for me the cul-de-sac or the neighborhood that would be interesting for you guys, right? And then I'll be back and I'll report back. And she'll go door to door on those cul-de-sacs and say, ready to go. And say, hey, who's your lender? Have you talked with your lender? Do you know a loan program? And are you ready to go? And you can lock in at 2.7%, right? And have nice equity in your house to put down on a new one. And your payments will be the same or cheaper for a nicer house right now. There's no excuse not to do that, except for you don't have time, which is why we have agents, right? Because you're a regular person with a job. You don't have time for this. You're not an agent. Guys, this is why we exist, to take this thought process in his brain and say, I'll be back with you. Talk to you soon. Bye, right? And then who you using as a lender, I'm calling him or her. And I'm going to get on the phone with that lender. I'm going to say, hey, call Mike, call Courtney, make sure their package is ready because I'm about to go find them a new house. And I want to make sure we can pounce when the time comes. Now, you guys have to get ready to do this and stay in the same district, right? Do it. Don't upgrade yourself the way you should to the beach yet, but that's fine. So find the place in the neighborhood where you want to be, in the school district where you want right now, and go find a nicer house. They're out there with a newer kitchen, with a nice big old pool, big yard for the kids to play in, right? Do it. Do it. Money's never been cheaper, and it's never been a smarter decision. Okay, guys, this is called sales. This is called planting seeds. And he's going to say, damn it, Jeff won't stop, right? And they're going to talk, and she's going to, when it's quiet and she gets a moment, and so does Mike, he's going to go on to Zillow because he's a consumer, and he's going to see what's going on. And then Heather's probably going to pounce on this and say, I'm coming over, right? And say, what time can we chat? And then before you know it, He's going to say, wow, that house I can have for that payment, that's awesome. Do it. Put it under contract. Get this one on the house. Honey, we're cleaning it up. Put it on the market this weekend, knowing what's going to happen this weekend. It's going to sell, right? And now they have a nicer place, better payment, upgraded. And now when things appreciate, they're richer because a more expensive house appreciates better than a less expensive house because a 3% of a bigger number is better than a 3% of a smaller number. Simple math, correct? So there's no logic that says that this is not a good idea. The only issue is the emotional side and the aggravation pain point because he's going to have to pack up all of his crap, right? And it's disruptive and they don't have to, but he should to make the right financial decision for his long-term future for wealth creation by damn well doing it, right? Money doesn't get cheaper. This opportunity doesn't happen.
What I should do if I'm being 100% smart about it is actually rent my house because they're renting extremely fast as well. Let that cash flow use the equity to go buy a new house and do that.
If you can do that,
I'm in a very unique situation though too, because unlike most areas of Tampa, like Plant School District in South Tampa is pretty large, right? Where mine is literally to keep my kids in the same school, you've got 4 little neighborhoods, areas within our neighborhood that we have to stay in. Otherwise, you're pushed to the school that's in the back or you're pushed to the school on the other side. So literally there's probably 200 to 300 homes that are in a pool that you have the option of if you want to stay in there. And of those, we're probably in the nicest neighborhood of those, which means really, if we really want a nicer house, we got to stay in our neighborhood, so it keeps dwindling down. But I get your point. And I'm in a super unique situation because most people, it would be an entire neighborhood or an entire section of the area, right? So
it's even easier for your agent, right? It's even easier for your agent.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a much smaller pool to say, hey, these are the only people I need to talk to because of these are the only homes that are an option. She can easily eliminate any house that is smaller or not as nice. And then literally there's probably 20 homes to really look at to see if there's an opportunity there.
Perfect. Okay, guys, is he more likely or less likely to make a move after this conversation? More, right? Guys, this is our job. Now, do I know this is the right thing for them to do? Yes. Right? Yes. Financially, logically, it is the right thing for them to do to get a bigger place if they can find one, right? To keep their payment the same or even less. Okay. Will they? I don't know. Do they have to? Nope. But they should really, honestly, seriously consider it with no BS. Put down a piece of paper, make a pro and cons list, sit around the family dinner table tonight and say, now he's going to have time coming up because it's the holidays and things kind of take a different pace, which is even better because now he can search a little bit more. And now as an agent, the pace slows down a little bit more. Now she can go door to door and these 30 homes that are potentials and say, I've got an opportunity for you. You guys want to chat up? They're not in a hurry, right? The people he wants to buy an off-market house from have no place to go either. So his agent has 2 or 3 sales waiting right now, because if she could find the house that's suitable for Mike, she gets the double side on that deal. Plus the guy who's selling the house that Mike's going to buy is probably going to move somewhere. And Mike may or may not sell his, and he may rent it if he can. It's a smart idea, but he might say, screw it, let's just throw all the equity down and let's keep it. Who knows? But you see the point, it's us to create deals. So now going into the holidays, this kind of segue into what our topic is today. How do you get people to do stuff during the holidays? You have conversations like this. Okay. This is how you have business going on through the holidays. This is when the search happens. This is when the ideas spur on. This is the whole thing. Does he? No, he's not going to probably be a deal this week. He might be. What if? Right? A 5-bedroom house with a movie theater pops up with a badass pool and a big yard is one of the 30. And the people say, you know what? We were considering moving to North Carolina. Why don't you have them come over and take a look? Could that happen tonight? Sure could. Right? That's the whole point. But if we didn't set this train in motion, nothing's going to happen. So we have to start having this conversation right now. right? Right now with your sphere, right now with your friends, because this is not salesmanship. This is not trying to get him to do something he shouldn't do. This is a smart financial decision that he honestly needs to consider for his family. Like, honestly, give it a full-on consideration. This is the time. And I don't care if he does it or not. I hope he does. I really do. Because 10 years from now, when the appreciation is factored into a bigger house, he's going to have an extra 50 grand in his asset portfolio than he would if he stayed in the house he's in right now. That's our job, is to nudge, right? It's uncomfortable because his drunk monkey's saying, I like this house. I grew up in this house. I love this house. Everyone's happy here. It's not bad. It's awesome. It's great. It's awesome. I can put something. Blah, blah, blah. It's just going. And then his is going to jump on Courtney's back. And she's going to say, I don't want to move. Tell Jeff to shut up. Right. And then all this stuff will going to start going on. And then their drunk monkey party is going on. And they say, I'm not going to do anything. But we did our best to do this. It's a numbers game. It's a contact game. And I promise you that seed is planted and it's grown. And that conversation will happen again today. So how do you got to keep doing that. Okay? How do we make it a little bit? Now, the simplest thing for him to do is let drunk monkey win and do nothing. So as an agent, what should we do? Like, how do you push this to the next level? How do you make it simpler? Like, how do we go all the way to the end so he has to make a decision? What's next in the process?
Well, for me, I think, if after this conversation, if you or Heather, all of a sudden, I'm saying no, and all of a sudden I get an email with like, hey, by the way, here's a few homes that are in your neighborhood that I found that I think you guys would like.
Before that even happens, right? Because when I do that, you still have question marks outside your head. I don't know, maybe I don't know. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is who would you use for lender right now?
Grow.
Okay, who would grow?
Brian. Well, I'd call Brian because I have a relationship with Brian.
Okay, well then you're going to call. Then I would call Brian as your agent and say, Brian, Mike is finally getting to the point of really considering something, right? And I can't have any wiggle room. He doesn't have any time to think about things. It's either a yes or a no. I need you to call him and I need you to talk and do a Zoom call or do something with him and Courtney. And I want you guys to figure out what loan program is best. Let's figure out exactly how much equity. I'll tell you what their house is worth. I'm going to show you their equity. We're going to see, can they keep their house? Can they keep it as a rental property? Will the debt to income support a new home? Right? And then what will their payments be? What do they qualify for? And then what will their payments be on this one? Before I even show you a house, right? Because it's a waste of my energy to get you to dream right now, because maybe there's something you don't know about. Maybe you forgot to pay something that you forgot about and your credit's not as good as you think it is. Who knows, right? Is this not responsible of me to go to that next step? So now Brian calls you, goes through this conversation with you, and he says, dude, you guys are golden. You could buy anything up to this price point you want, okay? And with the equity you have, your payments will probably be Y, right? So now you're armed with real data, with real information that you can actually swallow, take in, roll it in your head, and it's not hypothetical anymore. This is real. You have a preloaded Visa card that you can now go spend. This is now your call. Like, it's not a hypothetical anymore. This is not a maybe. This is silver platter, shine, bow on top, go pick any house you want up to X dollars. Have fun talking tonight. Call you tomorrow. Okay. Now, does the conversation change a little bit tonight at dinner? Absolutely. Because at first it was, hey, look, honey, look at these 3 houses that we might be able to move into those. Nope. I talked to Brian. He ran our credit. He got my numbers. He knows our income based on our equity. If we were to put the equity down into a house, our payments would be this. And honey, they're actually way smaller than they are right now. Can you believe it? Or we can keep this house as a rental property, rent it out, and do all of this stuff. Here's our options. What do you think? What's the pros and cons of renting? What's the pros and cons of not renting? Boom, 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 boom. Now they're having a productive conversation of real, solid, concrete terms. They can actually make a decision, okay? And that doesn't stop. That continues to grow. And the decision might be, sounds good. I know we can. It's great to know we can, but I just don't want to. Maybe next year, okay? To which we'll come back and say, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard you say, because why would you do it next year and pay an extra $400 a month? I'm not going to let you do that. If it's even a possibility in the next 2 years, do it now. Unless, just surrender for the fact that you're not going to do it, and that's great. But if you think you maybe might do it and you can do it, to not do it is stupid, right? And I could say that because we're friends and because it's true. And so you see how I can get so concrete? I take away your drunk monkey's wiggle room. It's gone. And you're going to either do it or you're not going to do it. And I'm going to help advise you what I see fit, but ultimately you do what you want to do because it doesn't really matter to me. So there you go. But it's the holidays.
So who's going to help me move on Christmas?
But whenever, right? Whenever the pressure is off, you don't have to move, but now you know you're ready. So who would like to have a buyer like this? I would, right? Because he can and he should. He just hasn't made the decision to do it yet or not do it. And so we just have to ride that decision wave out because he knows better than the general public that this move will cost him more if he does it next year. 100% will cost him more. And to do something later that you could do right now doesn't make any sense at all. So that's the point. So that's how we spur this on. Now third-party stories are great ways to tell people. So you could tell your leads the story, the conversation that Mike and I just had, and that helps you tell people what to do without telling them what to do. You can say, we were talking this morning in our morning team huddle, and Jeff was talking with Mike, and they were going through all these reasons that they don't have to move, but they should move, and here's the reasons why, and it's uncomfortable, and they have all these issues, and they keep doing it. So a video like this to post on social media would be great. Well, good, we have one recorded. But guys, this is the point. This is what we're doing. This is what we do, is we create markets. You decide what economy you're going to have in 2021, right? You decide how many deals you're going to close in January. This could be one. And if it's not, that's fine, because I have more friends than Mike. And I need to be having this conversation with every single one of my friends. You need to be having this conversation with every single one of your friends. You need to have this conversation with every single past client you've had. You need to have this conversation with every single neighbor you have. Guys, this is our job. This is our job. We need inventory. If Mike puts this house on the market that he lives in, gone. Gone. You know how many other people want to be in that school district? A lot. And your house is really nice. Sold. Money in the bank. Now, those of you who haven't been doing this forever, it's not always like this. It's the normal real estate market is put it on the market, guys. Let's see what happens over the next 4 to 6 months. And then if and when we get somebody on the hook, we'll see what they're willing to offer you. And if that's a good enough amount of money, then now we could start looking for properties. Okay. That's a normal real estate conversation. Right now, it's just like a golden gift era, like a weirdness. That's amazing. Right. So like imagine the reality of being able to put his house on the market tonight, have it sold by this weekend, and have another house that he could have bought by this weekend and have the financing all ready to go. It's just amazing, the opportunities that we have right now. So push, push, push in the nicest way. Now I know that's uncomfortable, but is it annoying, or is it something that it's a good conversation for me to have with you?
Oh, I mean, it's a logical conversation. And I think these conversations this time of year become much easier to have. Number one, you tend to be in more social situations, right? So you're at holiday parties, people are drinking, people are going to start to open up about what's really going on in their head. And so it's easier to start to layer in these conversations. This is also a great reason, whether it's a holiday party or not, friends and family, this is a great opportunity to start reaching out. Hey, I just want to say happy holidays. How are things going? I know it's been a crazy year. Are you looking forward to 2021? Blah, 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 blah. And that could happen in person. That could happen over the phone. That could happen via text. That could happen via Facebook Messenger. And next thing you know, as you guys start having with these one-on-one conversations, you kind of know what direction do I need to take this? Because if you truly care about everyone in your sphere, you're going to have this conversation. Now, not everyone's going to be accepting of it. Not everyone's going to hear you out 100%. Not everyone's going to act on it. But to not have these conversations when it's if you truly believe that it's in the person's best interest, is disrespectful to your friends and family, right? You are not doing them justice by not having a real conversation about really what's going on in the real estate, because the reality is you guys have a much better understanding of what truly is happening to values and what a rare opportunity that this is than the general public. So I'm sitting back going, yeah, the real estate market's pretty good, right? That's what the general public is thinking, because that's what they're hearing. They're headline reading, and they're hearing how great the real estate market is and that their friend's house just sold for much higher than what they thought. But they don't have any context. They don't know that this is super rare. They don't know that this could go away in 3 months from now. They don't know how the interest rates are truly affecting what they could buy. They don't know how the interest rates are truly affecting what their new payment would be. They have no idea, right? And that's where if you start to really explain it to them, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's in a video or in a perfect world, all of the above, now we're getting somewhere. And this is how you're going to create inventory, because in 99% of the cases, if I were to take action on this, I am going to have to list my house on the market, right? In which case, now I just generated inventory that we didn't have before. Now, to Craig's point, I'm also going to go buy something, right? And if that something is something currently on the market, I didn't really generate inventory. We just kind of swapped it around. But in some cases, it might be that Jeff is my agent and he goes and calls everyone around me and finds one that wasn't on the market. And then he did generate 2 rounds of inventory because that person's going to need to sell too, right? And go buy something probably. So, it's that this is the conversation though, especially this is a conversation that needs to be happening year round, but this is an easier conversation, in my opinion, to be having this time of year because you have a reason to reach out to start the conversation. So it could be someone that you haven't talked to in 3 months, but you have the holidays as a reason to kind of reach out and see what's going on in their world.
And to do nothing is not acceptable right now. Craig tapped in on this thing too. If Mikey Corney come up with the decision that they do not want to move, they know it's the right thing to do logically, they know they can, they just simply just don't want to, right? Then I need to urge them. I want them to create wealth. I want them to be very wealthy. I want them to have all the financial pressure off of them. I want them to have the best life I can because we're friends, right? So I'm going to urge him, if you're going to stay there, great. Love you guys, stay there as long as you want to. However, let's build some wealth in another way. Go buy one of these units that we have over here that are cash flowing. Go buy a Sandalwood unit, right? You need 15% down. That's it. Go talk to my guy over at Grow. Go talk to the guy at Bank of OZK. You need to pull about 45 grand out of your home and you can have a little beach house, right? That you guys can come use or rent out when you're not here. The average daily rates, I'll have you talk to Dennis at the office. He's going to show you what the income is. I'm actually meeting him today. Right. Side note for everybody watching, we're repackaging Sandalwood. The lobby's being redone. I got a whole other model being finished to be done probably by the end of this week. And we're going to relaunch this project. And we've changed it because it was a little bumpy and now it's smooth. Right. So it's a simple 70% split straight to you, 15% down. The condo dues take care of absolutely everything: power, internet, cable, everything. It's a mindless investment. You don't even have to think about. If you have the 45 grand, you need to buy one. And here's why. That's the next conversation that we have. And so to sit on this money, your money is stupid if it's not doing anything for you. It's just dumb. To have money sitting somewhere doesn't make any sense. You need to put those little soldiers to work, get them out there making you money. Only cash flowing properties, okay? Do not speculate on something. Do not go buy something you think might be a good investment. Buy something that is a good investment that you can actually show is going to bring in a return, right? That's what I need to do from a friendship perspective. Grab a Maduro Bay, get a Maduro Del Mar, go get a Sandalwood unit. They work, okay? Or pretty soon put some deposits down with the other projects we're about to launch out there. And the reason we price all these properties, I'm the guy who prices them because I know they have to make sense or they're not going to sell, right? That's the thought process. So sell or don't sell, and at least acknowledge that you should, okay? And acknowledge that you can. So you internally are making the decision without a question mark saying, I know I can, I've got this. We're making the decision to stay put, right? Maybe we put in a pool, maybe we put in a kitchen, whatever, or we're going to do nothing. Or we're going to take this equity out and we're going to leverage it and go buy something that we can go play in on the weekends or never go into and just keep it as a cash flowing resource, right? This is the conversation. So, and then I need to say, Mike, you know people I don't know. Is that a true story? Right? Yep. Anytime you're around anybody, especially throughout the holiday season, and you hear real estate, I need you to go bing, and make sure you throw them my way because I'm damn good at what I do. I love helping people create wealth, and I really want to take care of anybody that you know. So keep your ears open for anything real estate related these holidays, and send them my way. Okay, that's the conversation I need to have. So just having that conversation puts it top of mind. That's my whole job, guys. That's it. And now go through your phone and do that 20 times today, and then do it 20 times tomorrow, and 20 times the next day, and 20 times the other day. That's the big difference. And you cannot fail. It's impossible to fail in this business if you're talking to people. So there you go. So start packing your damn boxes, Puma.
All right. See you on Saturday to help me move.
Or go buy yourself a beach house, one of the two. Best of both worlds. All right, so let's talk about holidays for exception, because he might say, sounds good, we're busy, we got a lot of stuff going on, but we're going to wait. Why don't we pick this back up in January? Okay. Let's talk about normal world. We opened up this morning by saying this is not a normal world. Normal world, that makes sense. This does not make sense right now to wait. Why do people want to wait? What's the drunk monkey logical reason why people want to wait? Type in your answers. What's a legitimate reason why people want to wait during the holidays? Rachel saying fear, okay, of something. What's a legitimate reason why they say, you know what, why don't you just come back to me after the beginning of the year, which is really 3 weeks from now. So they're brushing
They're
you off.
busy. It's the holidays. They don't want to think about it. A lot going on.
They don't have to, right?
Yeah.
If you cut it all down, they don't have to, and that's totally okay. It's totally okay. But understand that there's a risk in waiting. What's the risk? What is the risk? What's the risk to let's go to the Puma family for a minute. What is the risk of waiting until January 6th to pick this conversation back up? Here's the risk. There are 4 other families on his street that are thinking about the same thing. Okay. And if one of them is getting a divorce and the attorney says, sell the damn house, and it's a hostile divorce, and they say, I don't care. We've already pulled our equity line out anyway. We're not going to make any money on this thing. Screw you, sell the house, dump it, right? And it goes on the market and it sells this weekend for 25 grand, less than the other one that just sold last week, okay? True story, does this happen? Yes. If that happens, what just happened to Mike and Courtney's deal? Change.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
It's not going to happen the way it could happen right now. Okay. That's the thing. When we price properties, when we look at property, it's a snapshot in time right now based on supply and demand and your active competition. That changes daily. Absolutely daily. If 3 houses come up for sale in that neighborhood, if 2 people own little restaurants in his neighborhood and they finally have been hanging on and they're like, you know what, honey, let's just take the 65 grand we have in equity here and go rent for a little while. I can't take the stress. If another lockdown comes, let's just get out while we can. I promise you that conversation's happening in people's households right now, right? And as soon as 1 or 2 or 3 of those pulls the trigger, gets on the market and says, you know what, we'll take a little bit less, everything changes. Total reshuffling of the deck, and the ability to get a house changes. You still can do it, might not be as nice a house, might not be on the same street, might not be, right? That's the plan. Might not have as much equity to go do what you want to go do. That's a fear factor. That's the reality of supply and demand and economics, correct? So we have to have this conversation with the client saying, I'm fine waiting till January, but I want you to understand, right? I know you're smart. I want you to honestly think about this one. Look, nobody wants to work during Christmas and holidays and all that stuff. The only time people actually want to look at properties when they're damn serious, especially over the holidays. They have time. I'm not going to have you make your bet unless I pre-qualify the what out of a buyer. If a Coldwell Banker agent calls me with a buyer, I'm going to take the scope out and I'm going to figure out that they're real before I tell you that there's a showing, right? I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to waste my time, but there's real buyers out here on the market right now, and supply and demand is totally on our side. So to not hit the market right now really that doesn't make financial sense at all. Everything is on our side right now. And if 1, 2, or 3 more houses comes up, shuffles the deck, guys. That's the whole thing. So I'm fine waiting, but I really urge you guys to think for a moment about what the risks are, right? Because it doesn't matter to me, but it may matter to you. And I promise you, you tell me the days you absolutely game changer, no brainer, no deal, no showings. I'll put that in the MLS systems. No way can it be shown from December 21st through December 27th. Right? If that makes you happy, you got family in town, I get it. I get it. But do not miss put the bait in the water, guys, when there's fish swimming around. That's the analogy right now. So wait if you want to, just understand the risk of waiting. Same thing. Buying, same situation. You're about to go into a buying season where people are going to have time. That's deadly because they have money and time. They're going to start snapping up properties. We're going to see a frenzy over the holidays, even more than we have right now, because it's unlike any other year. There is no time off. There is not, right? People are buying, people are selling. My schedule's back to back to back to back to back to back to back all week. I literally have like no time in the entire schedule the whole week. And normal years, this is the time you kind of just get some more stuff done. Not going to happen. Okay, you consciously have to take the time off to do the things. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. But if you don't have inventory, you're going to miss this party because buyers are sitting around. Or you need to get really sharp. And Craig, type in, are we going to do renovation loans tomorrow or Thursday? I think we're doing renovation loans, right? Because this is the whole key. Because what I need to do for Mike and Courtney, Drunk Monkey is going to say, nope, we don't like anything on the market. I say, well, not so fast. Do you like a neighborhood? Do you like a street? But because I hope we find a house with an ugly kitchen. I hope we find a house with a big yard and no pool, right? Because what if we could finance the house and put in the brand new kitchens and bathrooms and put in the exact pool that you wanted for the same price? I mean, is that something you guys should at least consider? And they're going to say, what? No, they're not going to say no. Hell yeah, they want to do that. Right. So that's the whole thing. So now we just opened up their market from here to here. And I know Thursday we're going to do, I think training on Thursday is about the renovation loans, because this is a conversation you guys need to be able to have in your sleep and actually educate them to do it. I love it even more. Right? Why do you want to live in somebody's, what do we call it, a butt tub? Somebody else's butt was in your bathtub. Why do you want to sit in that bathtub? Go to renovation loan and get your own damn bathtub, right? Take advantage of the opportunities. Cheap money to go do that. So that's the conversation that we want. They haven't confirmed yet. Okay. All right. So I've got a list here of a couple holiday things we want to actually do. All right. Couple points to make. Lower inventory means less competition for your home. We guys know that. We touched on that. The buyers who are looking are serious. Nobody does this for fun this time of year. They're serious about it. Less competition and serious buyers looking. It's nice to be one of the only options out there right now. Houses look better during the holidays because people take time and they love their homes and they clean their homes and they decorate their homes and they make them look pretty. And people buy with emotions and they justify with logic. And when you see a happy, loved home, it feels better. True story? True story. So here's 11 reasons. Number one, people who look for homes during the holidays are way more serious, right? Just in general, because they have jobs starting, they have things going on. Two, serious buyers have fewer houses to choose from, and less competition means more money. That's number two. Number three, since the supply of listings dramatically will increase in January, there will be less demand for your particular home. Less demand means less money. So there's a bunch of people that will say, you know what, after the holidays, honey, let's put our house on the market. So in the Puma residents, if they could wait for 3 more people to put their house on the market and drop their return down, or they could make the decision and throw it on the market this weekend. Their choice. It doesn't matter. But if I don't tell them about this option, then I didn't do my job on that. 4, houses show better when they're decorated for the holidays. Number 5, buyers are more emotional during the holidays, so they're more likely to pay your price. People don't like to beat people up during the holidays as much. 6, buyers have more time to look for the homes during the holidays. Number 7, some people must buy before the end of the year for tax reasons, right? Spend some money. Talk to your CPA. See if you need to do something. Number 8, January is traditionally a month for employees to begin new jobs. Since transferees cannot wait until spring, you need to be on the market now to capture that market. Number 9, you could still be on the market, but you have the option to restrict showings during the 6 or 7 days of the holidays, right? That's really it. Restrict it if you want to. Number 10, you can sell now for more money, and we will provide a delayed closing or extend occupancy until the end of next year. There's always a way, right? Figure it out. If his house, the risk is, oh my God, I don't want to move right now. Holidays are coming. If it goes on the market this weekend, look, I'm anticipating objections. And so if it goes on the market this weekend and it sells right away, we need to move and we don't have another house. Don't worry about it. That's why I'm here. We're going to say, yeah, we'd love to sell you the house, but we can't close in 30 days. Let's do an extended closing. How about you give me 90 days to close? You get to call it depending on the situation of the buyer, right? So take that objection away. We can do a delayed closing. We can figure it out or not, or we'll find another buyer. It doesn't matter. If the buyer who comes tonight, we can't come to tight price and terms, there'll be another one tomorrow. That's what's beautiful about this market. And if he says, you know what, we haven't found our right house, we're going to do a renovation loan. We really don't want to be living during a construction zone. So the contractor's saying it's going to take about 3 weeks to do these bathrooms. So why don't we push closing out until the end of February? And if the buyer doesn't say yes, then bye. I'll find a buyer who's okay with those terms. That's the beautiful part about having a good agent. Number 11, by selling now, you may have the opportunity to be a non-contingent buyer when the market comes out. Because the worst thing that can happen to these guys right now is a house comes on the market tonight and they love it. And they're like, oh my God, our payment's lower. It's the dream house. Look at that kitchen. Look at this bathroom. Look at that yard. Look at that pool. Oh my gosh, the kids are falling in love with the new bedrooms. They have a little game room. They have everything. It's there. Mike has his own office. They've got extra storage. It's like everything checks all their boxes. And they won't accept a contingent on the sale of their home right now. That's the risk coming down there too. Now, being a good agent, we know how to take care of those things, and we could put money down and do a lease back and do whatever we need to do. So anyway, I wanted to hit those top 11 reasons why people need to put their houses on the market right now and what to actually say. So when are you moving, Puma? I hope Heather's watching. If she's not, we need to send her a link on this one to do it.
She is not on this, but she usually watches it later. So I'm sure I'm gonna get a message or text from her later today about this. There's no question.
I bet you're gonna get other calls from other agents that are willing to go to work. Yeah. So guys, play supply and demand, right? Have the conversation, tell everybody the risk and rewards of actually making a decision. And making a decision is also making a decision to not do something either. Because if he's one of my leads and he says no, fine, right? Next, I'm moving on to another one. I did everything I can to help them see what I think. And I'm not them. I don't know if it's the right thing or not. And if they absolutely get committed to not doing it and they don't want to buy an investment property, no problem. Next, move on to my next lead. Okay, that's the business part about it. And now every quarter or every month, I'm still going to do a touch in and see if anything's changed a little bit. And, he'll still be seeing my post and we'll still be connected and all those things. And this seed will keep growing. But if it's not my appointment for this week, no problem, right? I need to go find my appointment for this week. That's the point, guys. So you need to make the commitment. This week, there's 0 distractions, right? There's no holiday this week. This is full throttle, game on, get your pipeline building. And if they're truly not ready to go until January, that's fine. You can't push anybody into being ready when they're not ready, but have the conversations that I just had with him. So he's making an educated decision to delay. Okay. And he understands the risk associated with delaying. And that's okay. It's not a fear factor, but I'm not going to feel good if I said, okay, call you mid-January. And he said, well, shit, I really wish you would have done this in December. We were the only house on the market. Now there's 6. Well, I told you, right? Enjoy not as nice a house that you're buying now. I want to be able to have that conversation because I told you. And if I didn't tell you, I didn't do my job. So every one of your sphere is Mike Puma. Okay. They can, most of them can. They just don't know that they can, and they don't know the reasons why they should. Right. It's not just saving money. It's the appreciation, guys. If you look at historical, Craig's going to go through some slides that are going to knock your socks off tomorrow from NAR forecast and kind of snapshot of what's going on with the economy and the housing market. If you look at simple appreciation, a $600,000 home is worth more 7 years from now than a $400,000 home. Okay. Simple math. And if you can get a $700,000 house now and you're not, comfortably you can and you're not, doesn't make any sense. That's the conversation to have with everybody that you know. Or maybe you don't need as big a house, scale it back. Take some cash out, buy a couple investment properties, do something. but do something when you have the golden era of real estate staring you in the face right now, where you can fix rates in the high 2% range, guys. It's unnatural. It's unusual. We just have a weird time in the world. We don't even know who the president is. Don't know what's going on with the COVID. We don't have any idea what's going. There's so many uncertainties, which keeps rates low. Once everything becomes certain and strong, what are rates going to do? Boom.
Yeah, they're gonna
Promise you.
skyrocket.
Promise you, it's impossible that they're not. So
Yeah.
this is the time, go live, do a video, do auto networks, do a text blast, do a reach out to every single person that you know, and just say, hey, by the way, I know you got other stuff going on in the world right now, but let's talk for a minute. What is your interest rate? You need to consider refining. If you're going to consider refining, why don't we consider a move? Lateral, up, down, right? Your roof is 1 year newer to being old. Your refrigerator is 1 year closer to being broken. Your hot water heater is 1 year closer to being nasty. Your carpet's 1 year closer to being replaced, right? Your garage door's closer to being broken. All of that stuff is true. Now, there's some pretty cool new homes. There's some all kinds of stuff you could do. We could do a renovation loan, but you need to take advantage of this once in a lifetime mortgage rates the way that they are right now. I mean, guys, it's our duty to have this conversation right now. Do it at scale through social, or do it one-on-one through text or video text, or conversations, or a soccer game meeting at the bleachers. It doesn't matter. But have your 5, 10, 15, 20 conversations a day, especially this week. Turn it double that. Why not? What else are you doing? If you don't have back-to-back appointments today, you need to keep talking to people until you have back-to-back appointments. That's just the simple fact of the matter right now, of what's going on in this marketplace. So that's the messaging I wanted to get across today. How are you feeling there?
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to carve out time for Zillow today.
And the first conversation is, I really believe you need to call Brian, because if you're going to be telling people about this process, you might as well go through it yourself. So call Brian and say, hey, I got a question for you. Jeff's been riding my ass to check things out. I'm kind of curious. What are the programs that we have right now? Is your 100% down conventional back end? What are the loan limits on that? Why don't you pull my credit? Why don't you check out? Here's my pay stubs. Here's my wife's pay stubs. This is what we have going on. Here's what I have coming in. Here's my K1s from the other businesses. What's my picture look like? Call me when you can. Talk to you later. Bye. Then he goes about his day till Brian calls back and he says, whoa, now let's go take a look. And then he calls and he goes, man, I didn't know I had this ability. What's going on? Well, too bad there's nothing on the market I want. Dude, dodge that bullet. No, no, no. I'll go bang on some doors. What's the street you want to live in? Ugly houses? No problem. Let me tell you about my renovation loan. Right? Why do you want to sit where somebody else's butt was hanging out in your bathtub? That's not a smart move to do it. So you see the conversation that just go, create opportunities, create ideas, create thoughts, create movement, right? And that leads to decisions. And that decision is to yes or no. And my job is to know if it's a yes or no. If it's a no, and then move on to the next person that I can coach through the same process. And it's either a yes or a no. And if it's a no, no problem. I reach out to the next person. I coach them through this process and it's a yes or a no. If it's a no, no biggie. I keep working to the next person until it's a yes or a no. And I need one person to say yes this week, correct? I can go through 400 no's and get one yes. I win. That's the sport that we play, guys. That's the game that we play. And I want you to be honest with yourself. How many people did you have this conversation with last week? And if it's not an overwhelming number that makes you feel good, you've got to change what you did. You've got to do something different today than you did last Monday and last Tuesday and last Wednesday, last Thursday, last Friday. If you want to have income. It's easy, guys. It's fun. It's a good conversation. Everybody wins, right? I've put a decent thought inside. If Mike was just one of my friends, not somebody I work with, he's going to think favorably about me as a real estate person because I had this conversation. Whether he does anything or not, I know what I'm talking about and I'm providing good advice. So when he's at a holiday party on Thursday, somebody's going to mention something about real estate and he's going to say, I was just talking to my friend Jeff. They listen to this conversation. And then boom, boom, boom. Oh, here's his number. Then I get a text message. Hey, I was just talking with Mike. Let's talk tomorrow about maybe selling my house. See how it works? But if I don't have this conversation with Mike, there's no way that ripple effect is going to keep going. Our job is to toss the stone, ride the ripple, toss and ride. That's what we're doing.
Ride the whipple.
Ride the ripple.
Well, fair warning, you're going to see Courtney on Friday at the South Tampa Christmas party, and you're going to deal with the repercussions of what you've put in my head today. So just want to throw that out there. Good luck, and may God be with you.
Oh, that I've got her on Facebook. I've already started reaching out to her on Messenger. I'm like 3 steps ahead of you on this one. She's already on
She's
the way to
probably
Yelp
already
to
picked
buy
out a
pasta.
house. She's probably already picked out a house to make an offer on.
Yeah. No, she didn't, because you haven't called Brian yet, slacker. So do it. So guys, takeaway is do this. We make money by doing this. It's a pretty cool job we have. So just do this until this thumb hurts, and then switch hands. And then use your voice activation if you really get really tired. And then until your battery dies, then plug your phone in. You still have battery and your thumbs are sore, but your voice still works. Okay. No excuse, guys. Just come up with the why and say, you know what? I really want to get 3 more deals under contract this year. Do it. Deals are ready. You might have to nudge a couple people a little bit closer, but keep walking through the point and say, Mike, now think about this. If you guys aren't ready yet, talk to Brian. Who else do you know that's even remotely close to thinking about doing something? I've got time to help a few more families out this month. Who do you know in your world that's even thinking about it? Who's having babies, who's getting divorced, who's getting married, who's getting job transfers? Who in your world is most likely to be buying or selling anything? And then I zip it and I force his brain to start going through that search process, and then hopefully he spits something out. If not, I talk to the next person, ask them the same questions, and I zip it and see what comes out. If that doesn't work, I talk to the next person and see what happens until I get my good one appointment this week.
Brenda, good call.
How about you, Jeff? Are you to make your next move? You know what's funny? I look daily, Brenda. I really do, because I buy my own information. And I know for a fact that I'm about to do some things to my house, right? And I'm stalling doing that on my house because I want to see if something else comes that already has the stuff in my house, because I honestly don't want to go through construction. I don't, right? I'd like to have an extra bedroom, and I'd like to have a pool, and I want to have the view that I want because I'm spoiled that way, right? And that's it. So I look daily. I'm on every search on every platform to see what's going on, and I am on Remind, and I look around to see what's going on. And I'm like a ton of other people in this world right now that could and would, right? But just don't. Do renovation loan. I like it. That's a thought, right? That's a thought. You know, I did a refi already. I pulled a bunch of cash out to do the renovations, sitting on it. I'm just not doing it because I want to see if something else pops up that already has it done. So we'll see. But guys, everybody, there's a lot of people like me that are thinking about this type of stuff, and just look around. I could sell my house in 4 seconds, right? When it goes on the market, but there's nothing for me to get to, and I'm looking around there and doing it. Renovation loans is absolutely an option, right? So yes, thank you. Have this conversation, Brenda, with 20 other people today, and through Messenger or text messages, you're going to find some conversations, and then throw them to the lender, get them to do the pre-qual, get them comfortable with what they can afford, and then go from there. Okay. There we go. So we have a fun week coming up. So please double down on your contacts, guys. Please, 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 please. If you were going to do 10, do 20. If you're going to do 20, do 40. If you're going to do 40, do 80. If you're going to do 0, get off your butt and do 20. Right? That's the whole point right now. Take this week and just go full throttle, guys. We're going to ride into the holidays. You do deserve time off, right? And everybody will take some time off, but it's only a few days, and the rest of the time to stockpile for January. I want you guys to pop 3 or 4 extra deals between now and the end of January. And today's effort, this week's effort, is what's going to make the difference between you getting deals and not getting deals. So that's my thoughts to share this morning. What else do you have there, Mr. Puma?
No, I think that's it. All right. This is a great opportunity to start reaching out to your spheres to do it right there. They want to hear from you. This is the holidays. You have a great excuse to even start these conversations. You're going to be at holiday parties. You're going to be out and about. People are going to be in a better mood. Number one, I think there's a lot of people that are just want 2020 to kind of be over and move into 2021, although I'm not entirely sure it's going to be much different, at least for a while. But I think everyone's just kind of over 2020. So I think you have a lot of excitement. You have a lot of people that are just going to be happy, right? This is a positive time of year. It's the holidays. There's a lot of good still happening. Take advantage of it. But to Jeff's point, you got to want to do it. And if anyone who wants to come help me move, I will shoot out an email.
You guys, if you need help or a kick over the edge or a nudge to get into action, please reach out to your manager. Please reach out to us, right? None of us benefit from you not kicking butt, guys. And take advantage of this party while it's going on, because it will not last. And it is amazing the way it's here right now. So please go full throttle, get exhausted, and just work it and just have some fun, make some money, help some people this week, and just make it the best Monday you've ever had in the history of your career. It's your choice. So with that said, thank you for watching, and let us know what we can do to help.
Have a great week, guys.